Hi, everyone. I hope all is well. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Friday for our class and for the Mindful Law Student Conference. And I wanted to take just a few minutes to give you a sense of what to expect and plan for the conference. We'll be meeting in groups of about six. Each person will speak to their paper topic, probably taking about 5, 6, 7 minutes max to do so. Ideally, you will be not reading, and while you might want to have notes available and can certainly put them in a place given the technological Zoom setting in which we're going to be meeting to do that, but the intention is not to be just reading something. And that's very important for a couple of reasons. One, because this is actually a learning opportunity for giving a presentation without reading something. It's not uncommon for people to feel uncomfortable, nervous, and yet at the same time, if that nervousness and discomfort were somehow to fade away, they would do a wonderful job if they could move a little bit more comfortably into that space. So you want to be prepared. You want to take time to think through what you want to say. And to have notes or to have little highlights that you can look to, that's terrific too. But it's just 5 minutes, and it's going to go fast. And the greater value to you in this process is by your putting it into words and your sharing it fresh is going to, in many ways, help you, I believe, with the development of your paper. And as you practice doing that, you practice the sharing of it and talking about it, you'll learn through that process as well. Now, after each person speaks, there'll then be an opportunity for those who are watching to either provide a feedback, especially if it's asked for. So you might find that there's something you're not sure about. I don't know if I should do the body scan or the focused attention because I'm not sure which would be better for the reader, but they're both meaningful to me and I'm having difficulty. What do you all suggest? And maybe people would respond to your question. So at the very end, you can say if you have any requests in terms of what feedback people might offer. In addition, people will ask questions. So there'll be a period of time for people to ask questions about your presentation, to provide you with feedback if you request it, and I may ask for some general comments as well. And that's how the basic foundation and structure of these will go. Now, in terms of what you say, it may be something like this. Hi, my name is Scott Rogers, and I'm writing my paper on mindfulness and, drinking water out of a bottle. And the reason I chose to write about this is because I drink a lot of water, and I'm always thinking about how it is that mindfulness might be helpful in the ways that I choose to drink out of the bottle. And so I'm going to share with readers a little bit about what mindfulness is so that they understand that mindfulness has a bit to do with blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to share a little bit about the science of mindfulness so that they understand that there's some research that supports the various practices that can be useful for helping to cultivate mindfulness. I'm then going to go and talk about some mindfulness practices, and in particular, the one that I find most useful as it relates to mindfulness and drinking it out of a plastic bottle is the focused attention practice. And that's a formal practice that I recommend people do on a daily basis, or I'm going to suggest to the reader that they might want to do that because that's what I do for about 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm going to also talk about a shorter practice that's called an informal practice that can be done at different times in just a few minutes called, in this case, the one I'm going to share is called mindful walking. And I am going to then talk about how it is that these mindfulness practices can be helpful in drinking bottled water and why it is that those mindfulness practices can be helpful for doing that. I'm also, because I found it challenging at first, I really was interested in mindfulness and I read the science and thought it was very compelling. And I had people who was telling me that they thought it was interesting and useful, but it was so challenging for me to do so. And so I'm also going to talk a little bit about my experience working with and learning about mindfulness. And then I think I'll leave people with some tips as to how they can practice mindfulness at various times during the day. So if they're finding it challenging to reach for that bottle of water, that they may be able to do so a little bit more effortlessly, and freeing up time and energy for other things that they want to focus on. All right, so I think that's about it, and I'm interested in your thoughts and your feedback, and thank you very, very much for your attention. Okay, that would be the kind of thing that it would be. Now, please don't track what I just did and somehow try to match that. I mean, you can do that, that's fine, but I'm not so sure that what I did was so particularly terrific. I tried to pick something that was, a little bit inane, so that you could see, so that it didn't, pull from any one particular direction. But really, it's meant to be your presentation on your paper based on what's interesting to you, for you to spell out the ways that you would like to. And different papers will take different approaches, and you'll really want to share with the reader a little bit about that as the viewer, your colleagues, a little bit about that as well. All right. I hope this is helpful. We'll talk about it some more on Friday. If you have any questions, you can certainly reach out to me before then. Looking forward to seeing you on Friday, where we're going to have a really nice opportunity to spend time with Judge Chris McLilly. And please, if you haven't already, read the article on a bad day at the airport, or whatever Sylvia Borstein, a very important mindfulness teacher, called that article, and of the practice, may I meet this moment fully, may I meet it as a friend, and practice that between now and hopefully you've already begun to do so, and when we do get together, because we'll talk about that in class and with Judge McLilly. All right, take care.